Order in the court. What it do, y'all? It's your brother, man, from the motherland, coming to you guys live from the NY, back with another one of that Samba Conversation. For those that don't know who I am, I'm Honorable Junes, the MBIC, giving all praise and glory to the heavenlies, for they are worthy to be what to be praised. Last but not least, I want to give a shout out to all you guys for your continuous support, leaving all that feedback, the positive, the negative, all things is respected and needed, because it allows me to do what I do best, and that is to continue keeping my foot on you heathens, you he-grows, and the newly installed heathenites. Next round of applause for that. Yes. Yeah, man. Another Samba, another beautiful day. It's kind of, it looked like it was supposed to be a thunderstorm here in New York, but I guess it's just passing by. But other than that, let me just issue my apologies first and foremost. Getting caught up with time, and then I had to go use the restroom. You know what I'm saying? When you taking these cleansers and stuff like that, you gotta take these things out, right? Be a bowel movement. Yeah, all of that is very important. A lot of us seem to just overlook the bowel movements, but you really gotta be on top of that. If you have eaten 3-4 times in a day and you only got one bowel movement, that's a problem. And I'm definitely gonna be promoting this product that I've been using for years. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that I have referred this product to and used it, they also will tell you, now this is as real as it comes, right? But yeah, man. Other than that, wonderful week. Can't complain. Minor setbacks. A brief difference between me and the Wiz, but nothing crazy. It's just, it is what it is, right? But it's life, right? You can't complain. You win some, you lose some. You have good days, you have bad days. But overall, it was a phenomenal day, phenomenal week, and we hope that this next week that's coming up is even greater, right? Oh, before I even start the lesson, definitely gotta tell you guys, the Life Coach on the Go LLC is fully active. Tune in, go on the website, shoot me an email, jpl at lifecoachonthego llc.com. The Patreon is up. With the Patreon, it's gonna be different. You're gonna get a chance to see the honorable pimp game, right? The honorable pimp game. You're gonna see me. June Burgundy is gonna come out. June Slap 'em Curly is gonna come out. I have a lot of things that's only gonna be played on the Patreon, because the Patreon, I get to be me. I could curse. I could, what I'm saying? Not curse on no profound way, defile way, but just being able to say certain words, talk about certain people without no community guideline strikes, right? So definitely be on the lookout for that. Or the link will be in the bio. I beg you guys to tune in, subscribe. It ain't gonna cost you guys nothing. It's just gonna be as cheap as taking a bus ride, right? But without further ado, man, we definitely gotta dive in, and we're gonna dive in. Hold on, why is my joint not working? Hold on, why is my joint not working? Why is it not working? Hold on, people. There we go. We good to go. So again, we're gonna have a phenomenal conversation. Nothing crazy, but it's gonna need to be had, right? So without further ado, let me share my screen. Yes. The ROD podcast presents Samba Conversation, the Heathen Crusades, aka Invade of the Old World, and King James' involvement in the slave trade. Yes, I said it. King James' involvement in the slave trade. Yes, I said it. King James' involvement in the slave trade. Yes, I said it. Okay? Let's set it off right. Oh, am I doing it right? No, my apologies. So let's start it off with the Catholic Crusades introduction. The Catholic Crusades, spanning from the late 11th to the late 13th centuries, were a series of religious and military campaigns ignited by the Latin Church with the primary goal of reclaiming Jerusalem and other holy sites from Muslim rule. Despite their inter-religious motivations, the Crusades became notorious for their brutality, political maneuvers, and profound impact on both the Eastern and Western world. So I'm setting up the stage for you guys to just get a brief understanding on where we're going with this. But I just want you guys, and for those that's been following me, for those that's been following Umdala, and for those that's been showing geographical, textual, mathematical map proof of the true location of the Holy Land. So I just want you guys to know that these crusades that you guys have been hearing, the story that you have been told, is not 100% accurate. And I'm going to show you within this presentation how it's not 100% accurate. But for those that understand, when you hear the word reclaiming Jerusalem, just know what they're talking about. Let us continue. The First Crusade, 1096 to 1099. Hey, don't that sound crazy? That's the same number for your tax papers, but we'll discuss that another time. Brothers and sisters, listening closely, though the Western Europeans were still playing catch up compared to the grand civilization around the Mediterranean. By the end of the 11th century, it grown into a force to be reckoned with. This land with a patchwork of kingdoms all tangled up in feudal web. Sure, there was consistent warfare, banditory, and messy issues of vasculage and heritage and inheritance. But some monarchs were already shaping strong, more integrated system of rule. Meanwhile, Europe was buzzing with the energy of a population boom that kicked off in the late 10th centuries and would roll on into the 13th. The economy was coming alive even before the First Crusades. First set were being cleared, new frontiers explored, and market were bustling. Italian ships were starting to challenge Muslim dominance in the Mediterranean waters. Now, let me highlight this for you guys because I want you guys to, when I show you guys this thing, I don't want you guys to be in a space of shock. It says a major transformation was stirring within the church during the 11th century, sparked by the Gregorian reform movement. This empowered the popes. Let me say that again. This empowered the popes. And you hear the key word. Let me highlight this for you too. Because you hear the Gregorian reform. And we are also following the Gregorian calendar, right? Which gives brothers and sisters a clear understanding of who's governing the world. Okay? You got the black pope. You got the white pope. You got the red pope. Yeah. The white pope is the one that they give you. The black pope is the one who the white pope answers to. Go, and the red pope is the ones that sit next to Lucifer himself. Just saying. I'm just saying. In 1095, Urban II was strong enough to convey the two significant church councils, even while facing resistance from Henry IV, the German emperor who opposed the papal reform. In these closing years of the 11th century, Western Europe was brimming with energy and confidence. The Norman conquest of England in 1066 showed that Europeans had the drive to launch major military undertakings. Meanwhile, the Seleucid Turks, fresh with the favor of new converts to Islam, were moving south and west into Iran and beyond. This was the time of change and time of power rising. Europe was stepping on the world stage, ready to play its part in the grand drama of history, bold and unyielding, with its eyes on the horizon and its heart set on conquest. I'm just setting up the stage for you guys. All right, let's keep it real. The Crusades were born from the fairy depths of religious favors. Of religious favors. Gripping Europe, especially in the West, religion wasn't just a faith. Listen carefully. It was a force. Let me say that again. Religion wasn't just a faith. It was a force. A force. People saw signs and wonders, blamed every disaster on the divine wrath, and believed in miracles. Reform movements stirred the streets, and sometimes folks stood up against the shady clergy demanding change. Okay? Let these things marinate, people. In France, listen to that. Let me highlight this for you. Hold on. Let me highlight this too. Let me highlight France too. And friends, they taught peace, but let's not get it twisted. The peace of God and the truth of God were moves to control the chaos, limiting violence on certain days and protesting the helpless. Clergy, travelers, women, and cattle from ruthless attacks. But beneath those holy words, there was a darker game at play. Remember, you see, I just highlighted France for you. I want you guys to pay attention. Okay? Don't forget these slides. At the Council of the Clermont in 1095, Urban II called for the first crusade and renowned the peace of God. Yea, they preached peace, but they also sanctioned war. They painted it as a mission to help fellow Christians in the East, but let's be honest, it was about power, control, and domination. They dressed it up as holy, calling it righteous war to defend Christendom, but underneath it, it was blood and conquest. France didn't come in peace. It came with swords and shields, driven by a hunger for power masked as a divine mission. This was no noble quest. It was raw, ruthless, and real. At times, when faith was a weapon, at times, let me highlight this for you as well. At time when faith was a weapon, you didn't think having faith was a weapon. You don't think that concept and the build for it was a weaponized creation. It was a weaponized word created to be used as a weapon. You guys ain't understanding. And the lines between the holy and evil were blurred. That's what faith do. Through faith, you're not gonna see wrong. You're not gonna see evil. You're gonna just stay in between. So somebody that's living a wicked life can say, man, I have faith in Jesus. That's why I am forgiven. Somebody that's living a righteous life and see all the bad things occurring, they say, I have faith in Jesus and he's going to come through the skies and save me. It was a weapon. Weapon, people. Weapon. Okay? The Crusaders were a dance of darkness and light. Remember, you can't serve two masters. Either you're going to hate one or love the other. Each step soaked in the blood of those caught in the crossfire. This is just the first crusade. The preparation for the crusades. I had to highlight the name Peter. Peter the Hermit. Fiery sermons in Germany sparked a wave of crusaders. You see where they coming from. You see where it's coming from. Let me highlight this for you too. Sparked a wave of crusaders, but their journey to Jerusalem was doomed from the start. Among them was an infurious count, the Imacho, whose path was marked by a brutal series of pogroms against the so-called Jews and the Rhenish towns in 1096. These massacres began in the Spever and growing more savage in the Worms, Mens, and the Colognes. Are often seen as dark turning points in Jewish Christian relations, a grim milestone in the history of anti Semitism. In these towns, Jews sought refuge wherever they could, sometimes finding protection under the bishop wings, other times hiding in homes and temples, faced with the ultimatum to convert or die. Many Jews chose death. Stories emerged of parents taking their own lives and those of their children rather than submit to a forced conversion or execution by the Crusaders. This zealotry, thought not unique to Christianity, cast a long shadow over the Crusades. Some Christians even believe the people crusade defeated with divine retribution for those heinous acts. After their bloody rampage, the crusade pressed on to Hungary, only to be crushed by the Hungarian king, suffering heavy losses. The Imacho, who may not have partaken in every massacre, fled back home in disgrace. Thus, the favor of the Holy War was stained with blood and tragedy, a grim statement to the horrors unleashed when the faith is twisted into fanaticism. When the faith gets twisted, you get G-checked, okay? The echoes of these dark days still reverberates. A summer's reminder of the thin line between devotion and destruction. It's a very thin line. I'm just showing you what's coming with this crusade, people. It's a very thin line. In August 1096, as Urban decreed, the main crusading force set forth a mighty wave of warriors divided into four grand contingents. A smaller fifth band led by Hugh of the Vernomodius, brother to King Philip I of France, ventured out ahead but met misfortune, shipwreck in the Adriatic from the Barokai. That name I can't say. The Dariusium, now Darius in Albania. Godfrey, the Godfrey of the Bulaloon, a formidable leader, commanded the first great army to depart. Duke of Lower Lorraine since 87, Godfrey was the sole major prince from the German realm to join the crusade. Though his tongue and that and that of his comrades was French. Here's a German, but his tongue and his comrades was French. Listen to these people. Beside him stood his brothers, his Estance and Baldwin, and their kingsmen. Baldwin of Lee Baraku, they took the land route, crossing Hungary without a hitch. They passed smooth by markets and provisions in the Byzantine lands. Listen to these things. Pay attention. I just want you guys to map all of these things out. With little more than a minor pillaging to the mere their journey, this great force reached the Constantinople on December 23rd, 1096. Thus, they marched with a purpose and resolve, driven by a favor to reclaim the Holy Land. Listen to what they're saying, the Holy Land. Their steps echoing through history, their eyes set on Jerusalem, hearts ablaze with a holy mission. Summary: the Crusades were like Western Christians' major moves back in the late 11th century, reacting to Muslim expansion, over centuries. They were out to shut down Islamic spread, snatching up the Holy Land, conqueror pagan turf, and reclaim lost Christian grounds. For many, it was about redemption and paying dues for their sins. This is what they believed in. Pope Urban II dropped the bomb at the Council of the Clermont in 1095, kicking off the First Crusade. From then till 1291, Latin Christians were on a world tour, hitting up the Holy Land, Spain, and even the Baltic. Even after that, the Crusade hustlers stayed strong for centuries, mostly as a check on Muslim powers' moves or begging new turf from pagans. At first, the Crusaders were making gains, setting up Christian zones in Palestine. I want you guys, let me highlight this. But the Islamic State kept growing and flipping the script. By the 14th century, the Ottoman Turks were all up in the Balkans, pushing into Europe despite folks trying hard to shut them down. But hold up, it wasn't just about Muslims. The crusade also went after the heretics, like the Albigensian Crusades from 1209 to 1229. And shout out to my brother, man. He posted something on TikTok showing the Albigensians selling black people. But that, like I said, we're gonna dive in. I'm gonna show you. And even had beef with the rival popes. The Fourth Crusade from 1202 to 1204 went way left and aimed at the Byzantine Empire. Now, for those that don't know about the Byzantine Empire, let me just say that the man that wrote the Ethiopian Black Bible that you guys are holding up to high regard, saying it was there before Christianity and all that, he was the king of the Bastille Empire. Abba Gibbons. Go look it up. The whole crusade scene started falling off in the 16th century with the Protestant reform and the decline of the papal power. The Crusades are a hot topic in Christian history, stirring up debates for centuries. Historians dive deep into all the drama and chaos. They also had a huge impact on the medieval Europe and its system. The whole idea of the Crusading has evolved from a holy war to a metaphor for a passionate fight for justice and taking on what's wrong. Listen, this is how they undermine the evil. But don't worry. Second Crusade. I hope you guys are able to hear me. I hope you guys are able to hear me. Second Crusade. The Second Crusade went down in 1147, 1149 CE. And let me tell y'all, it was no walk in the park. The Pope Eugenius III and a bunch of Euro nobles were like, yo, the Edessa fall into the Muslim, the Seljuks, we gotta roll out and reclaim that turf. So they rally up a massive army, like 60,000 deep, led by none other than King Louis, the who? The seventh of what? Of France, and Empire, the Conrad III of Germany. These ain't your regular folks. They kings, man leading the charge. Now, the plan was to retake the Edessa, but they had some side gigs to do. Over in Libya and Liberia, excuse me, they hooked up with the Portuguese to snatch up the Lipson from the Muslims. That was a success, no doubt, and they kept it going, taking the Almeria and the Torcia. Meanwhile, up in the Baltic, they were mixing up with the pagan ones, with the pagan ones. They tried to spread that Christian vibe, but when they hit let me say this, keep missing up. Constantinople, 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 Constantinople. Constantinople. Things got real tense with Empire Manuel, right? The first of the Commonesius. They were suspicious of each other. The Byzantine thinking Crusaders just want their turf. Crusaders thinking the Byzantine ain't got their back. It was a mess. Despised Manuel trying to keep the peace. Okay. Out in Asia Minor, where it really counts, things got even rougher. The Conrad III's crew wasn't ready for the Seljuk heat at the Dorilium. They got slammed. Louis the Seventh managed a win, but then took a big L at the Catamus Mountains. Them Crusaders were snatched, then losing morals and losing ground. They hit up Damascus in 1148 trying to make a comeback. But let me tell y'all, that siege was a disaster. Bad planning, internal beef. It all came to a head quick. They couldn't hold it down, and the whole campaign fell apart like a house of cards. After that, it was a wrap. The Second Crusade left a mark for the real. They made some noise in Liberia and the Baltic, but in the Levant, nah, they couldn't get it done. It strained relationships between the East and the West, showed the world the limits of their crusaders' powers. That's the Second Crusade for y'all. Big dreams, big armies, but in the end, it was a lesson learned the hard way. Okay? The Third Crusade. The Third Crusade stands as one of the most significant and dramatic chapter in the history of the Crusades, marked by a clash of titans, the European monarchs and the Chaldeans, the formidable Muslim leader, triggered by the loss of Jerusalem to the Chaldeans in 1187. Pope Gregory VIII called to arm, rally European most powerful leaders. He got in contact with the most powerfulest leaders, Frederick the First Barbarossa of Germany, Philip II of France, and Richard the Lionheart of England. Remember these names, okay? Francis the First embarked first, tragically met his end in 1190 and en route to the Holy Land, leaving a fragmented German continent to continue without his leadership. Meanwhile, Richard the Lion and Philip embark on the separate routes, each facing their own challenges. renowned for his military prowess and determination, opt for a naval route, securing vital base like the Messaline and the Cyprus along the way. His strategic acumen with was matched by his ruthless progaminous and extracting heavy taxes, extracting heavy taxes from Cyprus and suppressing local residents to bolster his campaign. Despite setbacks and tensions with Philip II, ritual arrival in the Levant bolstered the Crusaders' ranks. The campaign pivotal moment came at the siege of the Ark in 1191, where a coalition of Crusaders' force finally broke through the Salidarian defense after a gradual battle. Richard's tactical brilliance and the resolve of the Crusaders' force provide division deceivers, though married by his controversial decision to execute thousands of Muslim prisoners, a stark departure from the chivalric ideal of the time. Following the Archy, the Crusades marched toward Jerusalem, but were derailed by logistic challenge and the Chaldean resisted resilient defense. The Battle of the Asarif in the 1191 showcased Richard's military prowess, securing a significant victory that allowed the Crusaders to advance toward Jaffa. Now, you see the name Jaffa. Let me highlight this for you too. Let me highlight this. However, the Crusaders' momentum flattered and internal strife and logistic issues plagued the European forces. Philip II departed in 1191, further weakening the Crusades' coalition, leaving Richard to negotiate from a position of a relative isolation. Despite his efforts to press towards Jerusalem, Richard faced the harsh reality of unsustainable supply lines and depleted forces. Ultimately, the Third Crusades conclude with a negotiated settlement between Richard and the Chaldeans in 1192. Richard secured, right, concessions from Christian pilgrims and maintained a foothold in the Holy Land, yet Jerusalem remained under Muslim control. The Crusades thought ambitious and spirit ambitious and spirit underscore the challenges of the transcontinental warfare and the complex dynamics of the medieval geopolitics. The legacy of the third conquest of the third crusade, reverberates through history, reflecting both the abomination and the limitations of Europe powers in the Holy Land. It stands as a testament to the enduring class of civilization marked by heroism, brutality, and enduring conquest for religious hegemony and the medieval world. I want you guys to pay attention. Proof the real crusade was in Africa. Everything that I showed you brings you right back to Africa. We all know, for those that's been following me for a very long time, listening to what I bring forth, you already know we uncover where Jerusalem was. We had the maps to show you, the rivers, you name it. We got it. And you seen it. We got numerous of old videos, not gonna get into it. But remember, it was France, it was Great Britain, and it was Germany. These was the head of the Crusaders. Now look at this. France, Britain, and you're gonna see Germany, 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 Germany. You see right here, Germany. Now you see how they fighting. These are Europe. These were the so-called what they call it, the Arab Muslim territories. Nothing. Listen, people. Listen. Let me show my face so I can get. So I want you guys to get a clear understanding. Listen. Nothing took place in the Middle East. I repeat, nothing took place in the Middle East. In fact, the first time you see any action taking place in the Middle East was when Colin Powell, okay, was over there in 92 with George Bush. The second one was with George Bush Senior. Junior. Okay? You could believe what you want to believe. I'm not here to persuade you and make you believe in anything. I'm just telling you that the things that you have been told has been a lie. And this is the area to prove it. Okay? Britain, you see it? France, Britain, Germany. These was the head crusaders. Coming from where? Spain. Spain is not too far from Africa. They have to tell you that it happened in the Mediterranean area because they was trying to set the world up for everybody to believe that those that are in the area that got there in 1948 was actually the people. They was reprogramming the minds, setting up the stage for what we got now. And I'm about to show you. Okay? I just want, here's France. Remember, France was powerful. They was not playing. Britain, let me back up some more so you guys can know I'm not playing. Move it up. Okay? Germany got a lot too. Britain, France. I know. This is how they try to get you. They create dates to throw it off. Because like I said, everything was to establish their own history. But I digress. But you see all right here. Muslim Arabs. These are all Arabs. This is what they was fighting over. I just want you guys to know that. Let's talk about the Fourth Crusade now, guys. The Fourth Crusade, launched by the Pope, the Innocent, the man name is Pope the Innocent the Third, in 1202 CE, was supposed to be about reclaiming Jerusalem from the Muslim rule. But things got messy real quick. Instead of heading straight for the Holy Land, the Crusaders, led by the Byzantine Big Shot with their own agenda, took a detour to what? The Constantinople in 1203. Venice, flexing its maritime muscle, had the Crusaders redirect to Sarah, a Christian city, Zara. Now, if you those that listen to Dollar, listen to the elder, listen to the brothers that's showing you these biblical locations in the Holy Land. Redirect to Zora. Listen, a Christian city that had jumped ship to Hungary. This move got them on the Pope's bad side. The excommunication and all highlighted the greed and political games Venice which was playing in the Crusade. When they finally hit the Constantinople in 1203, it was chaos. The Crusaders intentionally backed this dude, Alexo, Alexios the fourth Angelus to reclaim the Byzantine throne, thinking he would pay up, but surprised he couldn't deliver. So they did what any frustrated army would do. They sacked the city in April 1204. So they took it over, sacked it, destroyed it, they violated pretty much. Imagine this: the pillaging, looting, and the burning through one of the greatest cities of the time. It was a free for all. They tore down cultural treasures, sacked churches, and left thousands dead in their wake. The Crusaders carved up the Byzantine Empire land among themselves and set up their own Latin empire in the Constantinople. The Constantine. They just call it the Constantine. Okay, this whole fiasco, it messed up relations between the Western and Eastern Christians big time. The Byzantine Empire took a massive hit and wouldn't fully recover until 1261. Plus, they screwed up through wrenches and the whole crusade business, making it even harder to get Jerusalem back from the Muslims. Fourth Crusade were more like a cautionary tale of greed, betrayed, and epic failure that left a lasting scar on the medieval history. Okay? Let's talk about the violence that came along with this fourth one. They say the third one was the most dramatic, so they say, but the real one has always been the fourth one, right? The violence and bloodshed during the Fourth Crusade, particularly in relations to trying to impose religious authority, reflecting a dark chapter in medieval where religious favors were often intertwined with political ambition and personal gain. Let us read. The sackling of the Constantine, when the Crusaders diverted to Constantine in 1203, they had originally aimed to support Alexio. Now I'm just giving you a quick summary. And it's bid to regain the Byzantine throne. However, when he failed to fulfill the financial promise, we read that already. Let's go to number 2. Forcing religious conformity. The Fourth Crusade was intentionally called by Pope the Innocent III to reclaim Jerusalem from Muslim control. However, the diversion to the Constantine and the subsequent sack were marked by a disregard for the religious sanctuary that the Crusaders purposely upheld. The Crusaders, driven by a mix of religious zeal and opportunism, attempted to impose their version of Christianity upon the Byzantine Empire. This imposition was not just theologically, but also economic and politically aimed at securing power and restoring resources in the name of faith. In the name of faith. Okay? Impact on the Byzantine Christians who had long seen themselves as defenders of the Orthodox Christianity against both Islamic expansions and the Western increments, suffered greatly during the Fourth Crusade. The Crusade actions shattered any semblance of Christian unity, and Western Christians turned violently against their Eastern brethren. The pilgrim of the Constantine and the establishment of the Latin Empire marked a profound rupture. I find it coincidence that word is always associated with Christianity and the Christian world, with lasting consequences in the East and West relations. Okay? Legacy of violence and division. The Fourth Crusade stands out not only for its failure to achieve its state objective, but also for the lasting scars it left on the Byzantine Empire and the Christian Europe as a whole, and they posed the hypocrisy and brutality that could accompany religious wars, where lofty ideas of faith were often overshadowed by human greed and ambitions. The violence unleashed in the Constantinople underscored how religious conflicts could be manipulated for secular gain, leaving behind a legacy of distrust and animosity between Christian factions. Now, people, why am I bringing this up? For one, I want brothers and sisters to really understand that the mass majority of people that's in the Holy Land right now has been completely removed from their culture, their identity. They just know that they're Africans. Some people over there don't even know about the name El Kebulan. That's all they know. When you ask an African where they come from, they don't tell you they come from Africa. They tell you they come from Nigeria. Or I'm a Nigerian. I'm saying all of this because you guys are forgetting that they themselves, and when I'm speaking of they, I'm speaking about the so-called Alkebulans. They themselves has been affected more than we have. And I want to show you guys something, but I'm going to save it for later. I'm going to save it for later. I'm going to save it for later. King James. I know a lot of you guys was waiting for this. King James and his involvement with the slave trade. Oh, yes. King James. You know, the black man that sat on 2 thrones. Yeah. King James. Oh, the ISIS Ra illiterates ain't gonna like me after this. King James. Let's look look into King James. King James the First of England, or King James the Sixth of Scotland, ruled from 1603 to 1625. His reign was marked by significant events, including the continuation of colonial expansion and the establishment of trade networks. One of the most controversial aspects of this period was the involvement in England in the transatlantic slave trade, which began to take shape during his reign. Began to take shape during his reign. Okay. Early colonial ambitions. James inherited a kingdom with the Burgundian colonial aspiration. The late 16th and 17th centuries saw England competing with Spain, Portugal, and other European powers for control over the lucrative trade routes and the territories in the New World. While the slave trade did not start with James, so they say, his reign saw a critical development that led to the groundwork for its what? For its expansion. Okay. The establishment of the Virgin Company. One of the significant steps taken during James' reign was the charactering of the Virginia companies in 1606. What else was done in 1606? Wasn't there a special meeting that took place and putting a Bible together? Huh? Think about that, people. Just think about it. This joint stock company was established to create settlements in North America, leading to the founding of Jamestown. You know, like King. Oh yeah, you didn't know he had his own town in America? Jamestown in 1607. They already had a town for him, right? While the primary goal was to find gold and other resources, the economic model of these colonials soon revealed heavily on agriculture, particularly tobacco farming, which demanded substantial labor. Okay? Early use of indenturous servants. Intentionally, laborers needed in Virginia's colony were met through what? Indenturous servitude. Poor Europeans, seeking a new life would contract to work for a certain number of years in exchange for passage to the New World. However, the mortality rate was high and the supply of willing Europeans could not keep up with the demand for labor. Okay? The shift from the indentured servitude to racialized chattel slavery began during James' reign. Began during James' reign. Began during James' reign. Now listen how they're gonna try to swipe it up, because they don't want to put this man with our demise, right? Although it was fully materialized after his death. Pay attention to what's being said. After his death in 1619, a Dutch ship brought 20 African slaves to Jamestown. Now, this Dutch ship came from who? Who are the Dutchies? Who are the Dutch people? Let me scroll up so I can show you. This is the Dutch people. You see the Dutch? Your Belgium, your Netherlands. You see them? You see how they're all connected? But King James a black man though. Don't hate. Don't hate. Okay? Brought 20 African slaves to Jamestown. This event is often marked as the beginning of African slavery in England, North America. These Africans were initially treated similarly to the indentured servants, but over time, laws and customs evolved to create a system of the hereditary slavery. Okay? The role of the Royal African Company. While the Royal African Company, which played a pivotal role in the slave trade, was not established until 1660 under King Charles II, the groundwork was laid during King James' reign. He was reigning when they was doing slavery. The exposition of England colonists in the Caribbean and North America created a growing demand for African slaves, setting up the stage for future large-scale involvement in the transatlantic slave trade. The economical and political implications. James the First political policies. I said policies. I'm sorry. Policies was primarily driven by the economic interests. The success of tobacco and other cash crops in the colonial promised substantial profits, and the use of slaves labor was seen as a mean to increase productivity and profitability. Okay, the transatlantic slave trade became an integral part of the triangular trade system, where slaves were being transported to Africa. From Africa to America, raw materials were shipped from America to Europe. and finished goods were sent from Europe to Africa and the Americans. While King James did not directly establish the extensive slave trade network that will flourish later, his reign set the critical precedent. The establishment of the colonials that depended on the labor-intensive agriculture and the early introduction of African slaves into these colonies were significant factors in the growth of the transatlantic slave trade. So he's have his hands in it, but they're doing everything in his power to make it seem like he didn't have nothing to do with it. You are a king under your reign. Meaning, if it came to your table, you said, okay, let's do this. I need more tobacco. I want more gold. Now, for those that want to say Europeans was in servitude, no, the Europeans, the bottom feeders, those Europeans that was in medieval times, right? That didn't understand, that didn't have the privilege to learn about civilization, signed a contract, basically got a job. And the slaves at one point was treated just like the Europeans. They had a job. But through the laws and customs, things seem to change. They had a job. You understand? And King James, what was he also doing around those times? He put together a Bible for you guys. And the Bible was used to do what? To control the slaves. It was to control the slaves. And I think I did. I don't want to jump ship, but I think I did. But if I didn't, my apologies. I forgot to put what he did, what the Bible was really used for. But in summary, the colonial expansion, James characterized the Virgin Company, leading to the establishment of Jamestown. Right? Labor is needed, intentionally met through the indentured servitude, but later shift towards African slavery. Introduction of slavery. The arrival of African slaves in Jamestown in 1619 marked the beginning shift towards the racializing chattel slavery. The economic interest, colonial profitability drove the demand for cheap labor, laying the groundwork for future involvement in the transatlantic slave trade. In conclusion, King James' involvement with the slave trade was indirect but significant. His reign saw the establishment of colonials that would later become heavily dependent on slave labor, setting the stage for England's deep involvement in the transatlantic slave trade, the subsequent decades. Okay? All right here. Okay? Britain. Okay? Okay? I just thought I should just share that with you guys. Okay? I just thought I should just share that with you guys. Now these are all the reference that you guys pause this, take a screenshot, and go look these stuff up so you can get a reference and you can get an understanding on the writings that took place and what King James was actually doing, black man. Right? That's why it's the most print out book. Okay? Just so you know. Let me also show you. let me also show you what I said I was gonna show you. But before I do, but King James was one of us, right? Wrong. He was a heathen from the tribe they created. Yes, I said it. They created. People in the land don't know. People in the land don't know nothing about tribe this, tribe that. Oh, listen. I'm just saying. Make sure you got some shorts underneath, Tiana. My apologies. This is these are the books. The Atlantic Slave Trade and the Census by Philip D. Certain. Okay? But let me show you what I want you guys to see here. So on slavevoyages.org, yeah, I think I need to show you guys this. On slaveorigin.org, I want you guys to see this. Hold on. Google Chrome. Now, remember when we was seeking truth, and a lot of us came upon this Hebrew stuff and we thought we was Hebrew Israelites. And remember they used to have this saying that, yo man, they were slaves on the ship and they changed their names. They had Yah behind the names and they changed the names. No. All lies. Okay? Okay? You see people's name? These are names. Let me go. Let me start off with one, because I don't want people to say that I'm starting my own thing. So let me start off with one. Okay. You see, there's Bora, male, Arabic, Islamic. This is the language group. Okay. Okay. Falama, D, Payo, Mufa, Lati, So, Chosu, Trua, Dao. I just want you guys to see all of this. Maya. Okay, these are males, right? Okay, these are the language that they were speaking. The Iwi. These are their ages. It was only they was only sending over the young bucks. Okay. They was sending only the young bucks. Here's 142. Okay. Here's 142. Here's 138. They was sending over the young bucks. Look, they had them young at 7 years old. Seven. One as young as 3. They was shipping 3-year-olds, guys. Look, multi-ethnic. This is a 3-year-old speaking multiple languages at 3. Don't let them fool you. He was too smart. They had to bring him over. Multi-ethnic? Yeah. Show you some more. They was grabbing our sisters too. 6 years old. 45. The old ones they was leaving, and sometime even killed. Here's a 28-year-old. As you can see, you're not seeing no Muslim, you're not seeing no Arab. I mean, no Hebrew names, no Yahweh Shai, Yah, Kumbaya. You're not seeing none of that. Look, female, known as Mama, 25. The things that we say now is our land. Madity. You know what I'm saying? I just want you guys to see this. All this nonsense that these people are talking about. I just wanted you guys to see this, and it don't stop there. Let me see if I can show you guys the ship. Hold on. Let's see if I can show you guys the slip. Remember the Royal African Company I was talking about with King James? Look at it. The first one of it all. Remember I told you with the King James? Right here for you. Just so you guys can see with your own two eyes. Okay? Okay? Lead in the most captivities. Okay? Just so you know. Just so you know. But I wanna let me go back to the home page. It's called slavevoyage.org for those that wanna tune in and gain some understanding. Don't let these people feed you foolishness, man. Hold on. And for the people that say foolishness, like where's the slave ships? What happened? They destroyed that joint. They got them hidden in caves. I don't know if you guys seen that movie with um what's his name? Mark Wahlberg and the other dude. Damn, what's the name of that movie? It's a famous PlayStation movie. Damn. But I come to it. But anyway, they went into a cave and they found the ship filled with gold. These ships that brothers and sisters is trying to find or asking where they are, a lot of them are hidden in caves that has no access by the regular civilians, right? And in that movie, they found the ship. They found Hitler's car, his car that he drove around in every time he was getting ready to do a meeting, right? Do a speech somewhere. That same car that you guys seen in the video, they had that. Okay, let's watch a quick video. All fair use. All fair use. The devil don't want y'all to get this fried chicken. All fair use. 15 weeks. Oh, it's crazy. This is crazy. You hear this? Hold on. Did you guys hear that? Babies that was born on sea. That means these people was even selling and taking pregnant. Yeah, let me let this finish playing because now I'm getting upset. Yeah. Slavevoyages.org, man. It's like that. Slavevoyages.org, man. Like, this joint has got me tight. They was taking children. Come on, man. Oh, look. More. Hey, here we go. Mozambique. Places where vessel voyages began. The vessel's name You're not gonna see why I'm not seeing no Hebrew, no Yah. Since since we had those names, and we was doing this, all of this is lies, pure madness and lies. Let me see if I could filter this. Let me see if I can filter this. Let me see if I can filter this. I can't filter this. So 200 in a row. Okay. Let's just focus on the names here. Somebody should have a somebody should have a Hebrew name, the Yah Hu Ha Ha. Somebody. At least one. At least one. But of course you're not gonna see that. Look, they got Lewis, they got S. Pedro. They should at least have one. They should at least have one. I just wanted you guys to see that, man. I just wanted you guys to see that, man. I just wanted you guys to see that, man. Yeah. So let's go back to the video. Let me go back to the King James, the keynote. Let's go back to the keynote. Okay. King James was none of us. Wrong. To sum it all up, shout out to me, of course. The Crusades was a series of religious wars between the Christians and Muslims from the 11th to the 13th century, primarily aimed at reclaiming Jerusalem. Now, why I keep saying that? Because you guys are missing the mark. The only thing that these people was fighting over was the control and the foundation of Africa, Jerusalem, the Holy Land, the land that became desolate. It was up for grabs, and they was fighting for it. And they was fighting for it, and guess what, people? They have won. They won the war. They didn't win the battle. Or should I say they won the battle but didn't win the war? They won the battle but they didn't win the war. We are still at war, people. The Crusades are still happening. There's a new crusade that's taking place right now. It's called the Medical Crusade. And the primary targets is the same people I just showed you. Ain't never changed. And if you see that they could put 3-year-olds on a ship, what makes you think that they're going to give a damn about a newborn? A lady was pregnant, a mother pregnant with child, can't even move. And she was giving birth on a ship. That means she was already in the late stages where she should have been bedridden. But no, sell her and this baby to the highest bidder. You can't get any more evil than that. These conflicts had profound negative impacts, including the heightened religious tolerance, cultural and intellectual losses, economic strains, and political upheavals. The Crusades intensified animosity between Christians, Muslims, and the Jews, led to the destruction of cities, culture, artifacts, and disrupted trade and economics. Okay? The destruction of cities and cultural artifacts. How does the Great Wall of Zimbabwe look? Seems very little, seems like nothing is there, just a little piece of a wall. In modern times, the term crusades is sometimes used metaphorically to describe ideological battles, or conflicts, such as religious extremists. So you see what we're doing? We're now considered the extremists. We're considered the crusaders. We are the crusaders because of what we're doing. When you got the gavel and you banging it on these heathens and you're not following suit the way that they want you to, you are considered a crusader, right? An extremist, religious extremist, cultural clashes, and social movements. These are the crusaders that they're telling you now. While traditional crusades have ended, did it really? I don't think so. When you see child trafficking, kidnaps, all of that, that's crusades. The legacy of these historical conflicts continue to influence contemporary issues, echoing themes of righteous struggle, change that, of religious struggles and moral imperatives. Okay? Replace righteous for religious struggles, because there was nothing righteous that came along to us with this so-called crusade. It wasn't a crusade, people. It was an invade. They invaded your area. They created the word crusade to hide what they was doing. And if you don't know what they was doing by now, I don't know what to tell you. None of these things, was they fighting with each other? Absolutely. But the only thing that they ever wanted, because he that controls Jerusalem controls the world. Because by default, he that controls Jerusalem automatically controls the children. And when the children is under control, you can do whatever you want. That's why I tell you guys, everything that you have been told is a lie. The enemy has lied to you. The enemy, King James, have taken a book and rewrote it, packaged and sealed, and made sure to be given unto all the slaves. That's what that was for. The whole New Testament, and I don't want to go off topic, but I just want to say this. I have to say this. The whole New Testament is literally a copy and paste of the Egyptian text, the Book of the Dead, verbatim, word for word. They just replaced the certain names and put Jesus. They replaced the Lord and etc. etc. These people have literally sabotaged everything. And when you check their history, their rise to fame always came when they came into Africa, especially when they came into Egypt, where now we really got to put everything into perspective now. I'm just saying, it's time for us to hold everything and everyone accountable. We must open every book. I am issuing out a challenge for every single person that's seeking facts, truth, to be set free. I need you to send me a DM. I need you to tell me which book of the Bible you trying to read. I need you to then tell me which book outside of the Bible you're trying to read and how devoted you are going to be into these studies. And at the end of the month, we all put what we found on the table and we have to debunk it. And this is for everybody. I don't care if you man, woman, or child. We have to put in the work. We got work to do. This is not about who's the top scholar, who know it all. Listen, we so jacked up. I'm telling you, I need the help. Because every time I dig deeper down this rabbit hole, my head start hurting. I get angry. I get frustrated. So maybe a lot of you guys can do the necessary works on your end to uncover what needs to be uncovered so we can put this to the table so we can figure out our redemption together. And I'm going to leave it as that, people. I'm going to leave it as that. Is there any questions? No questions? If there's no questions, then I'm going to gracefully bow out. Any questions about the Crusades? I mean, I hope you guys got all the intel and all the information. But if you don't, I'm gonna gracefully bow out. I'm gonna give you guys 10 seconds. Bring forth your information, bring forth your questions. Anything about the Crusades. Oh, and I wanted to show you something too. This is for one of my sisters. This is for one of my sisters. Hold on, let me pull it up. She wanted me to give her understanding about Mama Love. Now, for those that don't know who Mama Love is, it's the Nanini and the Sunini Nanini, right? I wanted to. She wanted an explanation, and I definitely wanted to expound on this just a little bit. Let me find it first. Damn, what did I do with this? Hold on. Trying to find it. Trying to find it for you guys. Damn, I should have saved it. I should have saved it. Hold on. Oh, I think it's popping up. I want to save it. Should have saved it. My apologies, guys. And a lot of times I don't be saving it because it's like, for me, once I receive revelation, I just, I be forgetting that we're living in a time where individuals so-called want receipts, right? Everybody want a receipt. Show the receipt, prove it. So I be forgetting to save it because I don't come from that, man. I come from, yo, man, your word is your bond, man. If this is what you telling me this, then I'm gonna take your word for it. If you lied to me, then you gonna held you held responsible for that. You know what I'm saying? It's just damn, I really can't find it. Yeah, I really can't find it. But when I do, I'ma definitely I'ma definitely put it up for you guys so you guys can see it when I do. Or is it this right here? Hold on. No. No. It's not this right here. I don't even want to tell you what it is. I really just want you guys to see it so you guys can't say it's me. I'm the one that came up with this or I'm starting my own. I want you to see. And this is what the computer gave. Okay? This is what the computer gave. Damn. Why didn't I save it? Oh, man. My apologies, man. See, it can't be in this one. It has to be in this one right here. Has to be. Yeah. Has to be right here. Oh. Yeah, it's not gonna give it to me. Yeah. Like I said, when I find it, I would definitely upload it for you guys. I know I sent it to my big bro in an email. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up this email. Let's see if I can pull up this email. Oh, all right. So let me pull up this email. And when I find the actual one, I'm gonna definitely put it up for you guys. I found this actual one. Hold on. Let's see it right here. Oh no, this is today. Yeah, this is today. Let me find the actual one. See, a lot of these things they're not putting up. I think it's right here. Hold on. I think this is it right here. Nah. Oh, there we go. I found it. So let me copy it. See if I can get this. I can pin this. Let me see. Let me share my screen with you guys. Let me share my screen with you guys. Let me share my screen. You know I'm gonna give you guys. You know I gotta give you guys some good cooking before I leave. Hold on. Let me create another slide, quick, fast. Just another slide, nothing crazy. Just another slide. Just another slide for you guys. Put another slide just for you guys. Move this up. All right, hold on. Hold on. Move this up. So 3 and 4. Let me grab you. Move this. Just for you guys. Just for you guys. So just to give you a rundown, what I did is, usually I go online. When I go online, you know what I'm saying, I go ask the questions that I be looking for, that I be needing, you understand, to I be looking for the questions that I know that these people won't tell us, but I know that, you know, it is there. You know what I'm saying? And when you ask accordingly, they usually provide you with the intel, right? So I decided to go online. Something came over me and said, go online and pull up, go look up Nanini and over the internet. Now, of course, you're not gonna receive everything, right? You're not gonna receive everything. You're gonna get partial truth, right? But neither here nor there, you know, like the word says, seek them and you shall find them, right? Now, when I looked it up, it says Nanini, often regarded as the mother goddess of the world, is believed to be a central figure in certain spiritual or religious traditions. She is revered as the embodiment of motherhood, fertility, and the nurturing aspect of nature. As the consort of Sunini, who is considered a powerful god or deity. Nanini plays a vital role in the pantheon of these belief systems. Key aspects of Nanini. Number one, mother goddess role. Nanini is seen as the ultimate mother figure, representing the source of life, nurturing all living beings. Symbolism, often associated with the symbols of fertility, such as the earth. You know, like they say Mother Earth, right? The motherland, right? Right? Okay. Crops and the moon, right? Number two, wife of Sunini. Partnership together with Sunini. Nanini forms a divine couple that balance the masculine and feminine forces of the universe. Let us create man in our image. Okay, cool. Don't worry. Harmony. Their relationship is often depicted as harmonious and complementary, reflecting the balance between creation and substance. Right? Cool. Let us continue. Cultural significance. Nanini is worshipped in various rituals and ceremonies that emphasize fertility, growth, and the natural aspect of nature. Representation. She is often depicted in art and mythology as the nurturing mother figure, sometimes with children are surrounded by nature. The mythological stories, creation, in many myths, Nanini is credited with the creation of the earth and all its creatures, working alongside Sunini. Protection. She is also seen as the protector of life, ensuring the fertility of the land as well being of her people. Conclusion. Nanini, as the mother goddess, holds a central place in the spiritual traditions that honor her. Her role as a nurturing, life-giving force and her partnership with Sunini reflects the deep respect and reverence for the balance of natural and divine forces in this belief system. Her worship underscores the importance of fertility, growth, and the nurturing aspect of life, making her a vital figure in the mythologicals and the practices of her followers. So I say this again. I know I said this once. I know I say it twice. I know I say it a lot of times, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to tell you. When you refer to Sunini Nanini, if you're going to say that there's no them and he and I and this and that, not in their language, so then you must remove the, oh, thank you, Father Sunini Nanini. You must remove that. Just call the name that was given, Sunini Nanini. And if you're going to say Father, then you must add Mother. You who are a bare mortal, people, you are a bare mortal. You don't get to determine who you give reference to. You don't pick which one. You don't pick dad over moms. You don't pick moms over dad. You refer to them both. A child have the same respect for the mother like they have for the father. Okay? Monotheism is Europeanism. Monotheism is Europeanism. All through African culture. I'm talking about the ones that hasn't been hijacked by these mercenaries. All through African culture, you will never find a single deities being worshipped. That came with the Europeans, that came with their writings, that came with the stories that they put. Remember, the objective is to make sure that we never connect back to our African culture. Okay? A lot of you guys have been overtaken by European philosophy that is not of you, that is not of me, that is not of us. Okay? So when you want to give praise and glory, don't say, oh, Heavenly Father, Sunini Nanini. Remove Father. Just say, oh, Heavenly One. Or just say, oh, Sunini Nanini. If you want to be technical and keep it directly the way the East Coast of people speak, then keep it that way. But when you put a title over a title, which also is a title mentioning the mother, you disrespecting the moms. And remember what the word said. All sins are forgiven except the blaspheme of the what? It ain't the Holy Spirit. It ain't the Wawakadash. It's Mama Love. It's the Nanini that dwell inside of you. The balance. The male and the female. Even when they took the records, nobody don't question how is the Bible. The creators created man and woman, but the Bible, it seems like it's only a book for the men. Why? Because he that controls the man controls the house. Make it make sense. Stop. Wake up. The rise of the bounty won't be televised, but guess what, people? I was authorized to tell you guys. Once again, I want to like to thank you guys for your continuous support. Give all praise and glory to the heavenly ones. Continue your support. If this is your first time, I hope it's not your last time. And if it's your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, that means I'm still on your mind. And that means you got to get on that grind. That grind is to do what? Get the children back to the Holy Land, back to El Capulan, back to our family. It's your brother man from the motherland. If you don't know, now you know. I am him, Mr. Keep my foot on you heathens, you Hebrews, and the Nulian store. Heathenites next. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Listen to the creator say one time for the one time. And I'ma holler at y'all. One.